There is a chance a separation referendum could be in the cards for next year, though a vote would just be the beginning of a drawn-out political and legal battle. For one, there are major constitutional hurdles that would involve Indigenous and treaty rights, and Alberta's chiefs are already calling the entire proposition ridiculous. Tim Brooke explains.
Just hours after Alberta's treaty chiefs held an emergency meeting, they had a united message for a premier flirting with the idea of separation.
We're not going anywhere. And if you feel that you have problems with First Nations, you could leave.
Danielle Smith's talk of a potential Alberta separation referendum in 2026 has Indigenous leaders furious. Some have even threatened to stop any energy development and exploration on their lands until their voices are heard.
This is treaty country, and any talk of separation is really insanity.
The reality is, the chiefs' concerns will need to be heard in any separation conversation. That's because the entire province is made up of treaty territory or national parks. Keep in mind, the logistics of Quebec's separation took decades to finalize before fizzling, and since then, Canada has only further acknowledged Indigenous people have the right to self-determination.
The treaties are binding legal promises between the Crown and Indigenous peoples. So in order to get the consent of Indigenous peoples, they would have to agree to walk away from that.
And that's a conversation that can't happen until the House of Commons has a say, and at least 2/3 of Canadian provinces representing at least half of the population would need to be on board.
Those next steps probably involve some kind of dramatic constitutional change, either Alberta becoming a fully separate country or some kind of new form of association.
Not to mention court challenges over our share of the national debt and new trade relationships.
It's really not within the realm of possibility.
Despite the challenges, the Premier won't speculate on the feasibility of the entire venture.
I don't have answers to those questions because until we see an actual active question and an active petition campaign, it really is just hypothetical.
And Tim joins us now. Okay, Tim, if everything went right for Alberta separatists, how long could that process actually take?
Well, Tara, as you know, the key word there is if, because as mentioned, a lot of people believe this is pretty much impossible. But sure, let's imagine for a moment that Albertans in 2026 did in fact vote to leave Canada. Well, a constitutional expert tells me after that happens, the legal challenges alone would take at least a year to complete. And then once those are done, well, Alberta would need to reconfigure its relationships with multiple Indigenous groups, other provinces, other countries, and then turn its attention to things here in our border, such as pensions, trade, currency, policing, just to name a few. So all in all, Tara, he says that if everything went according to plan, the earliest we could leave would be in 2029, which coincidentally is when Albertans and all Canadians are scheduled to vote in the next federal election.
Okay, Tim Brooke reporting. Tim, thank you.